reading glasses. Is this what you want? Does this make you happy? Are you entertained? You sick. You disgust me. And there, you're gone now. It's over. What the hell? You're still here. I pressed the button. I pressed the button. Let me get my reading glasses. Is this what you want? Does this make you happy? Are you entertained? You sick. You disgust me. And there, you're gone now. It's over. What the hell? You're still here. I pressed the button. I pressed the button. Let me get my reading glasses. Testing. Hello. Yep. It's working now. Who's anyone who's watching? I don't think anyone's watching right now. I don't know why the side chat thing isn't showing the gifts properly either. I haven't streamed in a while. Hopefully the mic's working and I'm not just saying stuff to no one. And when I see the recording, there's nothing. Since no one's watching anyways, I guess I have to come up with my own stream plans. So there were some things that I guess I wanted to talk about. The problem with no one watching is it's kind of hard to stream while no one's watching. But anyways, let me try to find the thing that I wanted to sort of talk about. I wish I planned my streams better based on what's happening right now. There's been a couple of things. Trump's been indicted. There's the whole strike going on. Climate change. What's the recent thing that's been happening though? Even on Twitter, I don't see anything that prescient happening. But I can start with since I like wrestling, I'm not sure anyone else does. Recently, there's been a few wrestling figures that have died. The one that's affected me the most though is Bray Wyatt. He's where is he? He's he was a very influential figure for uh what do you call it, in wrestling for quite a while. Like um he I don't even remember when did he debut. I'm trying to set this up properly as I'm not a professional streamer, as you know. So I'm trying to find out which one do I need to go to. Yeah, I guess that's better. So he died of a heart attack. When did he debut? Oh, this go. He debuted for the WWE back in 2009. He worked as developmental. He Everyone backstage basically came out and all the stories and everything. Mm, the fans loved him. The people he worked with loved him. Uh, and everyone's just been mourning his loss. And as I said, I like wrestling, and he was one of my favorite characters. So wanted to say something just so that it's here. Um, he started as um, some he had some characters in developmental, but his most prominent role was as Bray Wyatt, who he kept changing who Bray Wyatt was. But that's the ones the fans connected with most, and that's the one I connected with. He had this wacky, spooky, scary stuff type, that sort of thing going, and I, uh, I really enjoyed that side of wrestling where it wasn't just I enjoyed the skill side, the sports side, but the storytelling is what attracts most people, and he was really good at attracting people of that kind. And I'm not sure if I can show the entrances and everything in stream because I already got a strike for that. But I did show some stuff, so maybe I'm fine. I'm not sure. I don't want to risk it right now. He's part of a wrestling family. His name was Wyndham Rotunda, and he wasn't there when I was growing up, like because he came in. He started in 2009, but when I was like my teenage years and not even my, I was 14. I guess in the past 10 years, I would say, uh, he's been really influential, and um, I'm just rambling here, but I wanted to see him live at least once. Now I can't really do that. His entrances were insane. Storytelling was insane. But if any of you know wrestling, you know what like I'm talking about. And he died at 36. There's no real point for any of this. I'm just trying to say some words for one of my favorite, I guess, entertainers. That's the first thing I wanted to mention. Another influential person who died was someone called Terry Funk. If someone who likes wrestling was here right now, I could talk about it more with them, but I don't know. I don't have an audience yet to really discuss this with. But that's sort of the first thing that came to mind that I wanted to talk about. Another thing was sort of there's also a hurricane happening right now near me. It's a tropical storm, not hurricane, tropical storm. And it's hitting Florida, but it was said it might influence some parts of North Carolina where I am. It hasn't really done that, but that's basically climate change. The live updates. There was Florida suffering for it. This isn't like the first big one. There was one in California that affected Baja, I think. There's been other climate change stuff happening. The hottest summer we've had in many places in the world. And yeah, it's I don't know what I don't see any movement from the policymakers, so I'm not sure what the cure to any of it is. Like, I guess it would need to be people coming on the streets, but I'm not even seeing that. It's kind of it's very disappointing in a way. Nothing's really happening anywhere, even though this is the storm that came here. And let's just search heat waves 2023. There were the fires in Canada. There was none of it's fun. It's kind of bad. Is what I'm trying to say. It's kind of bad. Look at this. Number of heat winds began to cross parts of the northern level 2023, many of which are ongoing. Various heat records have been broken, with July being the hottest month ever recorded. Another cause is the El Nino phenomena, which began to develop in 2023. And climate change is exacerbating the strength of El Nino. In western US, southern Europe, parts of Asia. January was the 7th warmest on record, warmer than the normal 0.33, but cooler than, I guess, 2023. 0.25 degrees warmer. Above average temperature. Okay, not oceans. Wait, why is this so small? I guess they're doing, what do you call it? Area by area. So, in the North Atlantic, the climate records were broken. Sea surface records were increased. We know about these ones, I think. They were lower because of the pollution the ships were doing. And in North Africa, 3-day heat wave originating in North Africa reached over 40 degrees Celsius. July, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia had temperatures of up to 47 degrees Celsius. Heat wave in Tunisia, Cairo. Basically, all of these I can go through on every one of them, but that's been happening. What about protests? There have been some protests. And of course, the police have been responding to it. There's not nearly enough emergency shown, though. That's why, like, 2023 feels like, I guess it started before, but now it feels like we've reached that point of the climate doesn't make any sense anymore. Weird stuff's been happening. Of course, we're breaking heat records, and I kind of feel deflated that there isn't more news about this or protests. Uh, but yeah, I'm not a good streamer. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I need someone to bounce off of before I can like properly say stuff. Um, I guess that's why. I guess you get more comfortable talking, and then having people slowly like someone who's dedicated and having a consistent schedule means people will show up. It's kind of weird talking about normie stuff as well, because the stuff I'm interested in is like wrestling, anime, that sort of stuff, and that's not. I don't know what to talk about with regards to that. The climate stuff, though, it's thankfully nothing happened in North Carolina, but it is very wild. Oh, another thing, something fun happened near me. Graduate student killed someone. Another mm, potential mass shooting. I haven't covered. Oh, he killed his advisor. So I guess this was more targeted. The University of North. This happened yesterday. Yeah. Walked into a classroom building, shot his faculty advisor, and quickly left. Okay, it was just. Uh, bu- 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 he was ordered to remain jailed without bond and scheduled his next court date for 18. Yeah. Okay, so this isn't really a mass shooting, but people were scared it might have been. There was a big scare, and apparently the university shut down. There was actually a mass shooting recently. Where was it? Uh, was it this one? Philadelphia mass shooting. No, no. There's so many. I'm checking. It's hard to remember stuff. No, it's not this one. Uh, Oh, yeah, Jacksonville, Florida. 3 people died. Uh, racially motivated. What? Racially motivated again. Attacked the Dollar General. One of several weekend shootings. Several weekend shootings. Basically, the uh, hate hate crimes, basically, and these sorts of mass shootings are rising as well. Jordan Peterson had a stupid exchange with Mehdi Hassan about this as well. He called Mehdi Hassan white. No, not white. the specific words he used were, why is this? Show Daily Mail. Whereas so Mehdi Hassan reacting to the Jacksonville shooting basically said, you called out all us Muslims when there were some what the hell? Why are these so annoying? Mehdi Hassan basically made a video saying, you called us all us Muslims out on why we're not speaking up against the terrorists, but well, now this brown man is calling on the white people to condemn this hatred and this bigotry. And Jordan Peterson's reply to this was, you're a Caucasoid. That's basically what he said. You're not really brown, more like a light tan, just like white people. Plus, you're a Caucasian by definition, buddy. And the way he writes is so stupid as well. Like, I don't know why he's writing it in this way. Jordan Peterson is just deteriorating mentally. And I don't know, saying whatever he wants to say. Let's see. Let me check if my settings are properly. I want to see this video because the video is really good, but Jordan Peterson's reply, not really. Oh, am I not connected? My headphone's not connected. So this is just necessary. You know what I should have done? I should have just played a video game. That would have been an easier way to do a stream. But let me try to connect this. What? Oh, 1 second. Let me connect my headphones. I am babbling at this point, aren't I? Okay, I'm connected. Let's see. Properties. Okay. So hopefully this works. Let me check. If I play this video, does the audio show up? Twitter. I don't know if they'll let me play the video.
Good evening and welcome to the show.
Okay,
I'm Mehdi Hassan. There was a swastika emblazoned on the gun.
Yeah, so...
Am I talking about Nazi Germany circa 1933? Sadly, no. I wish. I'm talking about the United States of America in 2023. Just before 2 p.m. on Saturday, a white man armed with an AR-15 style rifle killed 3 black people at a Dollar General store in Jacksonville, Florida. At a press conference yesterday.
So he had a swastika as well, and it's kind of weird how they still deny. I mean, that's their job, I guess. They can't really come out and say that that's what they want. But they'll deny it, that they had anything to do with convincing or animating these people to attack. They being people like Jordan Peterson and Fox News and all those.
Yesterday evening, Sheriff T.K. Waters said unequivocally that the massacre was a, quote, racially motivated attack and that the shooter left behind multiple diaries, multiple, quote, unquote, manifestos riddled with rabid bigotry.
Portions of these manifestos detail the shooter's disgusting ideology of hate. Plainly put, this shooting was racially motivated and he hated black people.
Earlier today, Attorney General Merrick Garland put out a statement saying the Justice Department is investigating this attack as a hate crime and an act of racially motivated violent extremism, and adding that one of the Justice Department's first priorities upon its founding in 1870 was to bring to justice white supremacists who used violence to terrorize black Americans. That remains our urgent charge today. The problem is, though, that it hasn't been an urgent issue, even as white supremacist violence and mass murders have been on the increase. It hasn't been urgent enough, not just for the Justice Department and for law enforcement, both federal and local, but also for the Democratic Party as a whole, for the media as a whole, for the American people as a whole. We haven't taken this issue seriously enough, even as black and brown and Jewish and Muslim bodies pile up, both at home and...
That's kind of how I was feeling about climate change as well. Like, it's not being taken as seriously as it should. This one isn't either.
abroad as a direct result of white supremacist and racist violence.
And that is shown anywhere. Like, it's not just this area, it's everywhere. The Christchurch shooting in New Zealand, some of the shootings in Canada. There's been basically so many that I have a bad nerve. I'd have to go through a list, but it's not just an American thing.
We didn't take it seriously enough after the Charleston Church massacre in June 2015, when a hate-filled sociopath gunned down 9 African Americans during a Bible study. We didn't take it seriously enough after the Pittsburgh synagogue massacre in October 2018, when a racist nutcase killed 11 Jews during Shabbat morning services. We didn't take it seriously enough after the El Paso massacre in August of 2019, when a Latino-hating monster killed 23 people at a Walmart store. We didn't take it seriously enough after the Buffalo shooting in May of last year, when a far-right bigot targeted black people at a top supermarket, killing 10. We didn't take it seriously enough after the Allen, Texas outlet mall massacre just this past May, after a man with a swastika tattoo murdered 8 people.
Hello, Mr. Slyn. You're not late. I am rambling, though, because no one is here, and I'm trying to speak coherently, but I'm not that experienced in this. I was just talking about Mehdi Hassan's segment on the mass shooting recently in Jacksonville, where some white supremacist killed 3 people in a Dollar General store.
Half of whom were Asian. And now, Jacksonville, Florida. White supremacists armed with AR-15-style rifles gunning down black and brown people, attacking synagogues, setting fire to mosques and black churches. At what point do we say enough is enough?
That's the question. Before this, I briefly mentioned climate change as well, and that's another thing where no one's saying enough is enough. They're not saying enough is enough with this particular issue as well.
At what point do we ask how we came to live in an America where racist violence is on the rise again, where white supremacists are emboldened again, where mainstream politicians are silent again? And they are silent. Florida governor and presidential candidate Ron DeSantis has strongly condemned the violence in Jacksonville, but he had nothing to say about the far-right ideology behind it, where it comes from, how to stop it. He had nothing.
It's always a so-called lone shooter in their narrative. Of course, Ron DeSantis himself is a fascist.
Nothing to say about the swastika or the weapon of choice.
Perpetrating violence of this kind is unacceptable.
Damn, is he? He's such a punchable face.
And targeting people due to their race has no place in the state of Florida.
To be clear, I'm not...
It's funny that he's saying it. He's made policy changes to education where you can say slavery had some benefits, and he's using PragerU, whatever it's called, as an educational tool in Florida. So it's funny that he's saying there's no place when he's institutionalized it.
Saying that DeSantis or any other top Republican is directly responsible for this or any other racist massacre or directly incited it. What I am saying is that Republicans have created a permissive environment for white supremacists and domestic extremists in this country, have echoed their rhetoric and mainstreamed their talking points. Just take DeSantis. This is the governor who has used black and brown people as political scapegoats, political pawns, whether it was his...
Kya hal hai, boy meets Mehdi? You're not streaming? I'm doing okay. I don't know. I'm not good at the streaming stuff. I'm kind of figuring stuff out. Right now I'm talking about the Jacksonville shooting and Mehdi Hassan segment on it, where he's okay, you'll stream tomorrow. He's talking about how the broader connection between them. He's probably the only one in mainstream media that's talking about it like this. Like, they're still not covering it properly.
His arrest of black ex-convicts for daring to vote in Florida, arrests that soon fell apart, or his little game of human hot potato with brown migrants, tricking them onto airplanes and lobbing them across the country to Martha's Vineyard. I mean, this is a guy who fearmongers about critical race theory in Florida schools, who loudly defended a Florida school curriculum which basically both sides slavery and anti-black violence, and who just recently had to fire from his own campaign a staffer who made a video of DeSantis.
You went too far in exposing yourself.
Standing in...
He has some sussy stuff in the past, but yeah, he's pretty cool right now. He has said some stupid stuff right now as well, but mostly he's at least he acknowledges the issues themselves. He's I guess he's playing it to his audience the way he's addressing it. Like, he's not directly saying it, but he is saying it
in front of a neo-Nazi symbol. Yeah.
He was... when you go so blatantly obvious for this, it's... How do you think people will respond?
A neo-Nazi symbol. Is it any wonder that DeSantis' 2018 Democratic opponent in the governor's race famously...
This was a really good line by whoever the opponent was.
Said...
Even though he wasn't properly supported.
This.
Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
That's a good line.
Yeah, why is it that the racists and the neo-Nazis love so many of these top conservative politicians and pundits? Why is it that the Daily Stormer, for example, the neo-Nazi website, said he is literally our greatest ally about former Fox host Tucker Carlson? Why is it that neo-Nazi Richard Spencer led a chant of Heil Trump shortly after the 2016 election? Could it be because Tucker Carlson, night after night on Fox, used neo-Nazi great replacement rhetoric in relation to black...
I'm glad he's so irrelevant right now, and his replacement is a blumbering idiot who has no charisma.
...and brown migrants? Could it be because Donald Trump campaigned for office by retweeting white supremacists, while in office...
That's what I'm getting to.
...defended neo-Nazis as very fine people, and since leaving office has hosted a Holocaust denier at Mar-a-Lago for dinner? Oh, and don't even try the, why are you politicizing this, Mehdi? We should be...
This is his point, and it is a salient point. I guess it applies more to I guess more conservative white people now than it did to Muslims back then. But he's going to
be focused only on the person who pulled the trigger and no one else card.
No, he thinks that he's using an old racist thing where it's like Indians are Dravidians and Caucasians, and there are Caucasoids and Mongoloids and Negroids. It's so old school that I think no one in the 20th century used it. It's like 19th century and 18th century stuff.
I'm Muslim.
I'm going to show the replies if I can.
You don't get to play that card with me or my
I have the tweet.
community. For the past 20 plus years, since 9/11, Muslim communities in this country have been relentlessly questioned, examined, pathologized, scrutinized for the slightest signs of extremism or violence. White conservatives have demanded that brown Muslims subject themselves to extra checks at their places of worship and places of work. White conservatives have asked where the violence in Muslim communities comes from. What's the ideology behind it? Who are the hate preachers who are radicalizing angry and impressionable young men? They've demanded
Who are they?
the Muslim community get their house in order. Well, tonight, this brown Muslim is asking the white conservative community to do the same. Get your house in order. Crack down on the hate preachers who you've empowered and on their foot soldiers who you've emboldened. Condemn the rise of white supremacist ideology, of white supremacist terrorism, and denounce the daily racist outbursts on your cable news channels and your talk radio networks. Oh, and don't hide behind lazy whataboutism about Black Lives Matter and Antifa, neither of whom have ever massacred anyone at a church or a Walmart. But perhaps unsurprisingly, that's not what happened on the Sunday morning shows today. Republican presidential candidates didn't want to do any soul-searching or self-reflection. The politicians didn't want to talk politics.
So I don't think this is a left versus
This guy.
right issue, and I don't think we should try to politicize this through partisan goggles.
Really?
Either, Chuck.
That was an act of evil, but our prayers are with the families who lost loved ones and those that are injured. Karen and I prayed this morning for them.
Mike Pence also went on to say that he wants the death penalty for mass shooters, which is a bizarre thing to say in the wake of a mass shooting, in which the shooter...
I mean, the way he behaves, you couldn't guess he's Tamil or anywhere from India. He wants to be like any standard white Christian, and he wants to be viewed that way as well, even though he's Hindu, which is, it says something. He was born and raised American, but even in that, he's like I don't know if he's actually like this, but he's one of those who hate being Desi and want to try to hide it as much as possible. I'm just surprised he uses his actual pronunciation of his name instead of whatever the anglicized version is, because usually they do that too. And not just Indians, but there's a lot of self-hating Pakistanis and Bangladeshis too.
He killed himself. He's already dead. But then again, maybe it's not so bizarre, at least insofar as it functions as a smokescreen for Pence to hide behind, to protect him from having to address the actual root causes of white supremacist terror.
Yeah, it's... I guess it's understandable in the US when you're growing up, but imagine being Muslim after 9/11 and a kid. It's prevalent in India and Pakistan and Bangladesh as well. Like the colonizers aren't there, but the colonizing mindset is, they're like, look at what the English did and look at what our governments are doing. If the English were still in power, we'd have this and we'd have that. That's those sorts of people.
And gun violence. Because, of course, if he actually did that, he'd have to confront nearly every feature and fixture of modern republic.
That was actually something I wanted to talk about. Maybe I could after this, is the self-hating stuff. Especially self-hatred among Asians, but especially the Desi people, South Asians.
Politics, from his former boss to his allies in conservative media to even the policies he himself has championed for decades. So considering all that, he dodged. He and every other mainstream Republican politician eagerly leaves that job time and again to someone, to anyone else, which is a shame, but not a shock. But the dead black people in Jacksonville, the dead Asians in Allen, the dead Jews in Pittsburgh, the dead Latinos in El Paso, they deserve better.
And what does Jordan Peterson think? Oh wait, this isn't the one. Was it? No, screw you. This is what Jordan Peterson thinks. You're not really brown, more like... I don't know why he types this way. What level of brain disease does he have that All his replies are like this. All his replies are like this. Not one, all of them. You're not really brown, more like a light tan, just like white people. Plus, you're a Caucasian by definition, buddy. It's like, you're not really brown. More, I would say more like a light tan, just like white people. Plus, you're a Caucasian by definition, buddy. And, damn it. I don't want to log into. Can I find. There was a quote tweet by Mehdi as well. Nothing. Yeah, he said nothing to see here. Just Jordan Peterson, a white man, telling me I'm not brown. I'm actually white. Also, how am I Caucasian by definition? He says again, typing in that whatever weird pattern he has. Come on, Lord. How is this site so? You're not black and you're not Asian. You're not Asian. What? He's not Asian? He's from South Asia and he grew up in the UK, but he's from South Asia. You're not black and you're not Asian. What's left? Caucasian. Wait, if you're not black or Asian, you're Caucasian? Even though he is Asian. And I didn't call you white. Not that I care. I pointed out that your true color is tan, which it is, more or less like mine. And your idiot, a white man comment implying that I have no right to notice whatever the hell your color is not the least bit intimidating or damning as far as I'm concerned. The replies, there were you'd been surprised to learn, Boy Meets Money, there were a lot of Indians in the replies calling themselves Caucasians as well. And then, I don't want to log. Should I log in? I don't even remember one. I want to see the replies though. Let's see. Will this work? Wrong password. What are you talking about? Damn it. Oh, let 1 second. Okay, here we go. Go back. No. I'm gonna try logging in. Let's see if this works. That's annoying. Why is this so difficult? So, anyways, how's your day been? Is it still occupied by work? Is there a delay as well with the replies or something? I'm not sure. There might be. It's loading. These are the replies. Okay, that's just me. Wait, which one is this? Oh, this is my private one. I used the wrong one. That's. Where's the Caucasus Mountain? India has the largest population of Caucasians of any country by a light year. That's the one. Only a small minority of Caucasian people are white. Do you consider yourself brown or Caucasian? Is making a point and has zero to do with what color of your skin you identify with. Stop this narrative and let's build a better humanity. Okay, this is a normal comment. Oh, Mehdi is clearly another race of AW. Wait, I thought that was normal, but then this basically, and then this one. You can stop following the racist rule. What I don't know what this guy means. He's Indian, obviously, Chaudhry, but you totally can. But how is calling an Indian man, who I assume would agree, is likely to have been treated differently than? To be fair, Indian men are treated far better than the people of European descent in the US and in westernized countries. All these. Okay. Okay. White enough to be privileged, beige enough to feel discriminated. Okay, normal comment. Nothing about doing a PhD, but that you haven't still turned out this stupid. Anyway, Mehdi Hassan was like, can you tell them to not be do white supremacy? And then Jordan Peterson was like, you're white, you're Caucasian. Let's bring in old, like really old racism. Like a good race supremacist. Of course, a lot of Indians hate him too. Okay, this is a Pakistani. The first Pakistani idiot. Neither brown nor white. Mehdi is a coconut. Is it like how black people use the Oreo? Coconut, that's a new one. At least there's some normal Indians, at least. Wait, is it directed at? Who is this directed at? Is this directed at Peterson or Mehdi Hassan? Anyways, I don't think there is the sense of, what do you call it? I guess it's what's the word? Inferiority complex of people. Where were these people? I saw them. There was some. I remember seeing the people who were like going into the old worldy stuff, but they're so okay. Now he's Middle Eastern. There's such a sense of inferiority among Desi people. Maybe I can find something. They need to speak like Americans or British people. Maybe we can watch this video. Is it? I hope it's not copyrighted. I don't know who this person is. Another one way. I don't know. Is this good or bad? Oh, they do. That's weird. Why do they call South Indians coconut? But there's this. I think I was reading this one. The Desi inferiority complex. Reddit is so slow. Why are all these websites so slow? Oh, this is the same video. I guess I wasn't reading this one. It always amuses me that we have more Sayyids in Pakistan than in the rest of the world. Do you know what a Sayyid is? A Sayyid is like supposedly from the family of the Prophet, peace be upon him. but let's watch the video for sure. Why not? This can be good.
You can't even fucking say my name. My name is fucking Arabic. So go fuck yourself with your ugly balayage. The you stank girl. That's all you fucking get in your life. And tell your fucking dad to drive me around Dubai, please.
What the hell was that? I did not expect the video to start that way. No, in Pakistan it's weird because in Pakistan anyone who's named Sayyid is it's a thing. It's like they're from the family of the Prophet. In Pakistan they call themselves Sayyid. I don't know if they actually are, but that's what Sayyid is in Pakistan. Not in the Arabic areas, just in Pakistan. This video is is something though. I'm trying to get some people here. But let's okay, let's watch what the hell is this?
Because that's all you're good for is being a fucking driver, you fucking curry munching whore.
What the hell's happening? This is
Fight
too
to
much.
this and do what you like with it. Because
Thomas, because there will be Thomas. Interesting. I didn't know that.
I said what I said, you curry munching whore.
What the hell is this video though?
Whore!
Hey guys, Desi Faye here. How is it going? Welcome back to my channel where we're figuring out what this channel is about. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, for those of you who are confused by the intro, don't know what happened, don't have any context. Basically, in November of last year, there was a major controversy that arose surrounding two Dubai-based fashion and beauty influencers by the names of Sonia and Faiza Ali. They sent someone a pretty intense and racist voice memo over Snapchat, and that got leaked on the internet, and they got a lot of scrutiny for it. But that wasn't the most interesting part of the story. You see, these girls apparently claim that they are of Arab descent, that they have Iraqi heritage, and the racist voice memo was about Pakis.
Where they donkeys for a living, have no money, a shit ass currency.
Okay, this is a sort of
about them.
inferiority complex racism that
allegedly they're Pakistani themselves. So it's been a minute. You could be like, Tasim, you're a little late on this
Hello,
story. Why are you even
replicate.
talking about this? And
How
it's
are
not
you?
to
We're talking about Desi inferiority complexes.
talk about
Not the kind I wanted to talk about, but this is another one where they're like, oh, we're Arabic or we're Persian or something like that. Or they try to act like they're from they try to act English and British and American too. I'm good.
racist rampage. It's not to talk about Dubai's fashion and influencer scene. It's not my lane. But I was keeping tabs on this somewhat because I felt like there was something much deeper there that we could delve into and talk about. If they are in fact Pakistani, then why would they reject that part of themselves?
Do they wait? Is this a fake tan?
Delve into and talk about. If they are in fact
That's a fake tan, right? Or something. It's weird. It's very weird. I guess they want to not associate it with Photoshop. That could be it. They don't want to even look Pakistani, I guess. I'm guessing they're like from Punjab, right? I don't know.
Pakistani, then why would they reject that part of themselves, pretend to be a different ethnicity or
Pakistanis have weird that's another topic entirely, but they have this weird conception of Turkish people. I don't know where the Iraqi parts comes in because that's not something we tend to talk about. It's mostly not Iraq where people claim they're from. Turkey is a weird one. Pakistanis are very weird about. Who's worse than Americans on average? Pakistanis who pretend to be American, they're very annoying. I don't think they're worse than. I guess they're on average they're worse than an American, but not some Americans. Pakistani citizens, no. I mean, they're more conservative because they're from that area of the world. So in that sense, their politics is worse. But as human beings in general, they're just the same. Some of them have it's mostly a middle, like people who are either like in the business class themselves, like people who are capitalists, or have enough money to be able to look down on others. It's very elitist. Most annoying. I mean, that's because they already have money and privilege. It might be a money and privilege thing to begin with. And it's also like, I don't know about the Indians, but the Pakistanis, it's not that removed from when the British were here. And the British were like, in Pakistan, their perception is more of the posh kind because those were the Britishers that they interacted with. They weren't like the working class type Britishers or stuff like that Americans make fun of with the oi bruv or whatever that. I mean, those are Southerners too, but still, the Northerners that people make fun of. The only ones they saw were like the most elite lords and viceroys and blah 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 generals or whatever. So that's what they think of as high class, and they don't want to associate with the common folk in a way.
Heritage or nationality.
Another one is because of this animosity with Indians, they want to associate more with the Arab side. This is, I think, that this video is more about that.
And then spew such a hateful round of very specific racially charged or nationality charged words towards somebody.
She basically attacked me every single day to my point of where I cracked because it was my mom's birthday and my mom's no longer here.
Like, I get it. I've been in that position where people say some really nasty stuff to me and I do want to cuss them out. So they could have easily just cussed somebody out without putting
yeah, that's a weird justification. Indians because of partition. I mean, yeah, there's that. There's the Hindu-Muslim problem. There's also the part of, it's mostly a Punjabi thing. Because like the way you act Punjabi is, the dialect and the way they talk and everything. And they see that as like a lesser than, like someone who sounds American or British or whatever. They think is better than someone who sounds with that Punjabi accent. The hyper sort of way they talk, it's very energetic, right?
Component in there. That's what I want to talk about in today's video.
They don't copy Southerners. They copy a lot of Californians. I guess it's because of the movies. It's like either they say like a lot and that they want to talk like that, and people make fun of that sort of fake accent as well. So if we don't let it go, we make fun of all of them. We call them burger. I don't know why we call them burger, but we call them the burger class. Punjabi and Saraiki are languages? Yeah, there are languages. The stereotypes are different. Because the people are different. I mean, they don't view us any more favorably, these elitist people, but they view us more like, in a weird way, kind of like Native Americans. But not exactly. It's a mix of, I guess, that whole savage narrative, I guess. This noble savage or savage type narrative is, I guess, how they view us.
The Desi
From the
inferiority
mountains.
complex. Quickly, I want to state that Desi is a very broad term that is intended to describe people in the South
For Sri Lanka isn't included.
Asian region, but people get really mad about that term because they're like, no, they have their own nations, their own separate identities, then there's different languages and ethnicities within each country.
That's another thing. If someone has a problem with the word Desi, they'll probably have an inferiority complex too.
I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth by using that term, but then also talking specifically about Pakistanis. If you don't like it, if that bothers you, you don't need to watch this video, okay? I don't know what to tell you. About a year ago, I made this video about Arab supremacy, and I got fried for it, rightfully so.
Oh, sheesh. A poor woman.
So, I don't...
There's I guess she's from, I don't know where she's from. Her accent is, her English is pretty good, but maybe she's not from the Arab region. But there is, Arab supremacy is a big thing.
No, it's not my favorite video, but whatever, that's not what we're gonna get into. It caused a ruckus. But there were people in my comment section who made it very clear that they felt that I had brought those sensibilities of feeling inferior to Arabs upon myself. It's my own fault. Yes, I do believe that a lot of Desi people, especially...
Oh, she's American? Yeah, she sounds American.
Those who leave their home countries do tend to have...
But American Pakistanis don't notice these things as much. Maybe she immigrated first generation.
Inferiority complex, and I don't believe that it's their fault, and I'll tell you why. So I've seen this first-handedly in the US, where some people make it a point to either completely pretend that they are a different ethnicity that they can pass for, or they will make up
the Hispanics who want to pretend to be white. Vivek, we just talked about Vivek, who wants to be white so bad.
Or exaggerate that they are from a different lineage. So first I'm going to talk about being Pakistani, specifically in the practice of claiming
that makes sense.
South Asian ancestry. On my last trip to Pakistan, I picked up this book by cultural critic, historian, and columnist Nadeem.
I don't know why they're not showing partner, even though it should be.
Farooq Paracha. I'm sorry if I'm saying that last name wrong. It's called Points of Entry, and there's a chapter in it called Dubious Ancestors, where he talks about how he was lied to about his own tribe's origins, his own family origins. Yep. They were saying that it was traced back to Arabia, and when he did some research, he found out that that's not actually the case. It was actually more of Persian and Central Asian roots.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
He says, so there it was, a true history of my people.
It's weird because at least with like Pashtuns and Baloch, there is a connection to the Middle East. Some Punjabis say they have Arabic descent, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Now, honestly, I've seen this a lot, where I feel like a lot of Pakistani families will like talk about where their families are from, and it's like it always goes back to somewhere else, which, I mean,
my family has a different kind of inferiority complex. They're like, you're just from this really small village and you can never escape being from this really small village. No matter, even if you never lived there and your parents never lived there either. And your children will probably never live there either. And they hate Saraki because they want to be... they themselves reject themselves to be Baloch, even though other Baloch people accept them as Baloch. It's a very weird mix of inferiority complexes. I wanted to talk about the English side, but this is more of the, I guess, local side of it. This video.
At the end of the day, there is a chance that it could be from somewhere else because there were so many invaders that came through that region of the world. However, that's not really the reason why people claim that. So in that same chapter, he references another book by Dr. Mubarak Ali, In Search of Identity. So if you read his book, essentially he gets into how before partition, before British rule even, there wasn't really a sense of cohesive Muslim identity. Ethnicity was more important in Muslim society in terms of where you ranked in society. So
that was most of India, not just Muslim, Hindu, Christian, whatever.
Local converts weren't treated very well. They were treated as lower, and so lower caste Muslims did not have access to education or higher ranked roles in society. He says, the Mughals were also very conscious of their fair color, which distinguished them from the converted darker complexion Muslims. Since being a Muslim...
No, you're in capitalist America. You just need more money. You're white already, so you just need money. Replicate get money, and you'll be the most privileged. It's not that hard.
of foreign origin was considered prestigious. Most of them
That is true.
locally converted Muslim families.
That's true of Christians as well. It's weird, but they're, I guess, disparagingly called, I guess it's a slur in a way, sort of, is they're called a chaprasi, which basically means like a cleaner, like a sweeper, sort of, like someone who cleans the streets or stuff like that. That's what Christians are called in part, a lot of India and Pakistan.
Families began to trace their origin to famous
The
Arab
local
tribes
Christians.
or prominent Persian families. So if they are lying about being Arab, I mean, this trend is not something that these Dubai influencers started. This has been around for a long time. It's deeply rooted. But now I'm going to shift to kind of more general terms, generally speaking, on why Desi people have inferiority complexes, especially Desis in the West as a whole. I feel like I've seen this specifically in corporate jobs that I've held where I've been around, I don't know, I'll just say it, like there have been other Pakistani or Indian men in the same room as me, and it seems like they're trying to distance themselves from their identity. They don't want to connect with me on that portion of their identity. They would rather like stick with the white people and pretend like I'm one of you.
That's what they do. That's a thing of, that's not just Desi people, that's Asians in general, right? They want to associate more with the white people, even whether you're from China or Japan or not the new students that come in, a lot of them as well, but the generation before us, the older generation, really tried that. Yeah, the model minority stuff.
You guys, and I can see it first-handedly. And not to say that maybe I've never done that. I don't know if I have, but maybe I have. But I see this in the workplace specifically. I don't know if you guys know of that Louisiana governor.
They also try to be more racist towards black people than the white people. I've seen that, yeah.
Bobby, you know, Mr. Bobby over here. I mean, this is what he looks like, and this is the portrait that is hung.
What the? Who did that? Who did that? Nikki Haley is another one. She's called Nikki Haley. No one would guess that. She's from India. What the? Is that Pete Buttigieg? No. What's the other guy? The Texan governor guy. Kind of looks like that, doesn't he? The one who ran against Ted Cruz as well. What was his name? Whatever.
In his office, apparently. Weird. So weird. But anyways, let's talk about
reverse to No. The guy who ran who ran for the president, he ran against Ted Cruz, and he ran for the governorship in Texas. Beto O'Rourke. No, white. Oh, that's another thing. People use whitening creams a lot in these areas. It's insane. It's not good for the skin. It's white bleach, and it's disgusting stuff. That's health-wise, it's not good. I don't know why those whitening creams aren't banned. Speaking of changing your color, Ariana Grande comes to mind. Yeah, there are big skin whitening. That's what I'm talking about. What's the word? Gora and Samla and all those other words that we use.
Talk about what colonization does to people and why this is all related to this. The effects of colonization. So for those of you who don't know, the British ruled a really large piece of land in South Asia. It was a lot of space, okay? They only needed a studio apartment, large piece of land in South Asia.
So this map doesn't look.
Asia. It was a lot
This one doesn't.
of space, okay? They only needed a studio apartment. They squatted and stole a 100-acre estate. What the heck? It's not funny. Like, I'm smiling about this, but there's nothing funny about what the British did. Like, there's nothing funny about it. I'm serious. I remember I said something about British people stealing land, and someone was like, you have a huge chip on your...
Samla is another one they use. It's very weird when they talk.
shoulder? Yeah, I do. And for good reason. So anyway, of course that had a huge impact on people who are from that region. Duh. French psychiatrist Ibrahim Frantz Fanon, I don't know if I'm saying that right, of course I'm not, was a French West Indian psychiatrist and a political philosopher from the French colony of Martinique. According to his works, when people are colonized, they see their own cultures as less than, and they develop inferiority complexes where they're constantly aspiring to be the other, and they want to distance themselves as much as they can from who they are. And this is something that people in the subcontinent experienced for sure. And
look at these wacky clothes. Look at them. Oh wait, I see a Baloch. What's the Baloch guy doing over there? What are you doing, Mr. Mir Saab, Mr. or are you Nawab Saab? What's that? That is Baloch, right? Or it is the Shalwar looks very Baloch. I don't know. The others don't look Baloch at all. The guy next to the white one on the right. What's that? Are these ghosts? Like the guy next to on the right of the white guy, is that, what are those? Are those ghosts? That is a wacky design. I want to see a colored photo of this one. Like if some computer program can make a colored photo or something. Right? Why did
An example of that is the British educational system. If we look at it through that lens, I found this snippet here where it says the British viewed their system of education as superior, and to make superior Indians, they introduced the Western education system.
Manifest Destiny?
When you look at colonial India and what that was like, there were definitely layers to it, and I...
How can someone look at this and say they're superior? You're wearing whatever the hell this is and you're claiming you're superior. You're not superior to anyone wearing that.
Feel like there were native people who were colonized and were definitely brainwashed into this mindset where...
Look at all these goofy ass people.
They were made to feel like
this is... Wait, Hindi came out of Urdu? I thought Urdu came out of local languages in Hindi. Are you talking about, like, I know there's the Hindi with the Sanskrit and all that, but then there's the Hindi that was spoken in North India before. Like what you said Hindustani before. Because Urdu's like came during the Mughal period. That history would be interesting.
Like they were superior to their own people the more that they acted like the other or their colonizer.
They still do that.
And maybe this explains...
Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of Hindi. I don't consider their, what's the word? Sanskritization to be Hindi. That's what I think of when I think Hindi.
Explains why a lot of Desis are...
Maybe that's wrong, but that's what comes to mind. Like the actual thing that people speak and not the thing they want to enforce on people.
Obsessed with education, are highly competitive, and obsessed with being white. Like even like white skin, you know? And sometimes that's disguised. Maybe it's not that clear. Maybe you're thinking like, no, I don't hate my people, but like it may show up in subtle ways that you don't really understand.
I mean, yeah, that's true. You have to work hard on not being that.
And because you haven't read the history or understand the history behind this. So I'm gonna do a hot take on this whole Sonia Faiz, so it's not hot take anymore, it's been cooling off because I'm kind of late on this. You microwaved it and it's just sitting there, disgusting. Going back to the Sonia Faiza thing, I think some of you may disagree with me, but when I look at that situation, I don't see it as like, oh my God.
As a YouTuber, he's much better than me. Speaking of, how does my lighting look? Like, where is it? Is it too dark? And is it too purple? Is it not purple enough? Thank you. I can make it more purple or less purple. Because, I got these strips and I got some other stuff too. I got a Zorro figure. This guy. And I got it from Temu, which is the way cheapest. It's like AliExpress to AliExpress. But I can make it pinker. And less pink. Or purple. This is the most purple. This is like full on purple. This is slightly, I think this was the one I was using. This is red. This can be something you use when you're having a really bad day. I can't do that. This room is very small. This is the blue. And this is the really blue. We're going back to where I was. When was it? This one or this one or this one? This one. Anyways, saying this person is a much better YouTuber than me. I don't know her views or anything, but still. Which color was best though?
It's so funny. They're racist and they're stupid and they don't know who they are. And that's kind of how I was seeing things on the internet play out. I feel like it's a lot more complicated than that. And I'm not trying to defend them or what they did. As I said, it's not my cup of tea. I just feel like this is a broader...
There's like... there's like purple, full purple. Then there's light purple, and then there's even lighter purple, and then there's even lighter purple. And we can go even lighter and even lighter still. This is like very close to white. And then this is a little darker. This is a little darker. This is, I guess, a big jump. And then this is just purple. This is full purple. No, this isn't full purple. This is full purple. I guess this one, yeah. Or this one. This one, right? Okay, back to the video. Not this one, this one. Here we go.
Topic and a broader discussion to really like look more critically into. If they are Pakistani or whatever, they're clearly distancing themselves or trying to convince themselves that they are part of the other. They are not what they actually are. And that makes them above other Pakistanis, right? And the other point I want to make that I feel like nobody really talked about is that they're clearly mimicking other sentiments because they're mimicking something in order to fit in. So whatever they were racist rampage going about, they were doing this because they probably witnessed this or understand that that's how the society there works. People who are of Pakistani descent or people who are of South Asian heritage are seen as lower in those societies. And that's so true. As funny as it may be, you know, this is likely the behavior that they have seen.
And tell your fucking dad to drive me around Dubai, please, because that's all you're good for is being a fucking driver, you fucking curry munching whore.
Nobody cares about that part. We're all focused on the lies as if this is some sort of Rachel Dolezal situation. And it's not, because that was the opposite. That was the reverse. That was someone coming from a place of privilege to a place to pretend to not be part of that. We're all focused on the lies, but we're not focused on this like deeper thing.
What does the story hinge on in Vemba?
there. You know, there are different ethnicities and cultures and races even within Pakistani society. So they very well could have been attacking someone who may have been of a lower status in society than them because of their skin color or whatever it may be. And that's how, you know, in turn, they're also treated like that in a place like Dubai. But if we do take that part out of the equation and assume that these are people who are struggling with their own identity, if she is pretending to be Arab, going on this racist rampage, isn't that a case of...
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even know there was such a game.
self-hatred rather than racism? You know, it just depends. And at the end of the day, we don't know exactly what is in somebody's heart. I don't know all the details. I mean, people are saying all these things allegedly, but I don't feel like there's any solid proof or evidence on what the truth is. And again, I don't really care about this situation. I'm saying that I'm making a whole video about this, but I feel like it's something that is kind of relatable to a lot of people, because I've seen it myself in something so small as someone lying about where they're from. And the funny thing is that this happened in Dubai of all places, which I think a lot of people know that,
I hate
you know, the
Dubai so
conditions
much
for migrant workers, especially people who come from those regions of the world, not that
I
great.
really hate Dubai.
And when I say not that great, I am just very lightly being very not harsh about that at all. And many of the Gulf countries don't have a very good reputation when it comes to how people of that descent are treated, especially as migrant workers or whatever it may be. So who knows? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope this video was helpful to somebody. I really do feel like the more I delve into this stuff, as foolish as it may seem by making videos sometimes, especially with that Arab supremacy rant that I did, I do feel like in some ways
the voice from the mic is pretty good, even though it's rubbing against the fabric.
This has been a healing experience.
I mean, there's degrees of working class, right? There's the migrant workers who are fooled into coming and then basically given slavery wages. And then there are the computer programmers who get less than white people for doing the same job. And then they're like, no, I guess that's about it. Who else goes there? But it's basically the same. It's either like the so-called like skilled worker, professional class types that are paid less than what white people or Arab people get in those countries, but more than their own country, or they're like foreign workers who were tricked or who just needed the money, and then those are the like people treated worst in those areas.
Experience for me, because it requires me to delve more into the reasons behind why things are the way they are, and it makes me feel better because I'm like, okay, I see what I did wrong there, and I see what I did right there, and I see why I did that.
I know about that.
Oh, you know, that's not okay.
I think they've sort of technically done with kafala, but they're still doing a lot of that stuff that legally kafala isn't allowed anymore in Saudi Arabia. But
I'm rambling now, but you guys can check out the links in the video description below. I have more videos coming out soon, and, you know, kind of jumping off of that Arab supremacy video, I received some criticism about that. And there are some criticisms that I am going to talk about. And so I am going to make more videos. I'm excited about that. You guys can check out the links in the description below. Yeah, I hope you guys...
Not decent video. It did, I guess it ended up talking about what I was going to talk about, but turns out her parents is from Gujarat. Yeah, a lot of these stories. John trolling the white Uber driver. Yeah, basically this. r/Pakistan doesn't seem that active. I guess a bit active, whatever. Imran Khan recorded message before arrest. 479 upwards, 114 comments. This is r/Pakistan. The Rangers were distributing money to TLP workers in the 2017 Dharna. uh, anyways,
You can't.
the creator is Desi. How do you pronounce that? Tazife? Tazife? Is it Tazife? Tazife sounds right? Tazife, like the word Tazife. At Tazife, I'm Tasneem, a third culture kid. Hmm. Two cultures are being religious, not in larger things going on. This isn't my actual channel that I use, so I actually use my own channel for watching stuff, which I don't know if it's a good idea or not. But you could subscribe to this channel if it was. Boy Meets Mini would be more interested than Replicate or Mistress Lynn. Or if someone from the future watches this video, if I somehow end up not being lazy and having an actual audience. I'm gonna do it on my phone where I'm actually logged in to the account I use. But anyways, do I have anything else I want to talk about? Did anything else interesting happen? Is there any funny Hindutva stuff that's happening? Boy Meets Mini. Is there any India news happening? Anything happening in India? Oh, okay. Apparently some India-Chinese land dispute stuff. Oh, thank you, Boy Meets Mini. Thank you for the 3 donations. Not 3 subscriptions. 3 gifts. Yeah, that's what they call gifted subs. I heard a weird sound. I don't know. But I guess nothing. I should focus more on. Oh, you're a little kiwi. Look at the. Wait, was Boy Meets Mini a little kiwi as well? Or oh, you are a little kiwi, but you're also notable. So Mistress Len is now a little kiwi in chat, and so is Replicate and Orbitos. Arun Chal Pradesh. It's inconsequential stuff. Is there anything actually consequential happening? I know about not. I mean, everyone hates sort of not just bikes, but they're recommending me my own channel to me. Our Changing Climate is a good channel if anyone wants to check them out. Are men killing the planet? They usually have really good videos. Like they had one on veganism and how, of course, it can help, but the problems that there are. I haven't watched this video though. It's only 5 days old. It didn't come up on my recommended page or anything. But how long have I been streaming though? Does it tell you the time somewhere, anywhere? What's the doom news? Pakistan, the only doom news is the economy is just dying, sinking. It's not going to get better because we don't have an elected government. It's just technocrats, like an interim government that has taken over, and we won't have elections for a while, like March or something. There are channels that are good on covering that, but no one understands the Urdu that they speak. So if there was anything particular happening, I could have just gone through a video and translated and said some stuff. What's the time? I'm getting a bit hungry as well. News, do they use understandable words that I could I can understand most Hindi if it's and deliberately not trying to include Sanskrit words, right? I can actually watch this video, but you can watch it on my own time as well. I'm not sure if they copyright it or not, because I did get in trouble with copyright with some Japanese anime clip. I should have been more careful, but what's happening in the US these days? I mean, Trump was arrested, they had the debate, blah blah blah, nothing's happening. I mean, I can translate them for people if I can understand them. Like a rough translation, not like a full-on translation, something like explaining what the video is talking about. Or I can just do, I don't even know what, news laundry. I don't understand the title at all because I can't read the Indian script. But I could probably understand. Oh, they're a news company. Reader supported. How our PMs work. Interesting. Oh yeah, the Indian moon landing. That was something. Wait. I know the Russian spacecraft crashed. But what happened to the Indian moon landing thing? There are some Pakistanis talking about conspiracies. That's stupid. This one is at least cool. Shiv Shakti Point. Sure. India to name Chandrayaan. 3 is moon landing. Chandrayaan or Chandrayaan? Oh, that's the Hindu Shiv Shakti Point. Of course, they're gonna do that. I mean, there are BJP, so they probably the scientists can't do much about naming. Shiva. Okay, yeah. I want to talk about the cool stuff, but apparently this is the first thing you get. They're detecting stuff. It is cool that they can get to space, and I wish Pakistan would invest in it instead of doing what our power politics they're doing. But they are still under fascists, so that kind of makes the news not as exciting as it could have been if it was just a normal government. Yeah, that is good. The Russian craft probably saw it, but it crashed, so we don't know. That's another stupid controversy they're having. China, I mean, with like Japanese. China's making a big fuss about Japanese fish, even though it's safer than a lot of the stuff China dumps into the sea. And I don't exactly know why they're throwing such a big fuss about this. It's just countries being stupid. I guess there's nothing. That's a problem I always have, is picking out topics. Well, I guess I did have some topics picked out this time, but I think I should just stop. If people it was more active. Hello on Twitter as well. You commented on Twitter, Boy Meets Me. Yeah, the bad stuff going on is like, the problem with the bad stuff is either you try to do like a big comprehensive review of everything that's happened, or you're trying to cover one specific instance of thing that's happening. But it's just a series of events that keep happening. Like you said in Manipur. There's some smaller stuff that happened that happens in Balochistan as well. Like, what was it? Like, some terrorist attack happened a few weeks ago. But I don't know why unless you're like, I plan out like a complete, or I know I have someone who I can talk with about like a complete covering of everything. And then that's the thing, I guess I have a problem with actually preparing the streams themselves. But yeah, 152 people have been killed in Manipur because the Hindus, of course, against Christians this time. Of course, Modi's deployed them, so they're not going to be unbiased. This is big. I didn't know about this, but this does look like something big that's happening. And it's been happening since May. The ethnic ethnic violence plus, of course, Hindu and Christian stuff on top of that. That's like, I mean, India is so big and it's not actually one thing, even though they claim it is. So that's the hard part of knowing that stuff. Since I'm not from India, and I know some stuff about some areas, but this specific stuff, I don't think anyone in Pakistan knows of anything that's happening here. I mean, some people, but not most people don't know. It's stuff that doesn't really get out. It's probably the same thing that's happening in a lot of countries. Like, there's probably a lot of local Iran, other than the Kurds, there's other small minorities that are being oppressed, and those aren't talked about. And there's probably a lot of smaller communities in China that China of course is more restrictive about news getting out. But yeah, apparently what's happening now? They're calling for a separate administration. Or access to educational benefits. Scheduled tribe? What the hell is a scheduled tribe? Oh, okay. Why would they want? They're the majority and they have. That's stupid. They want to recognize that something that's for discriminated against communities. They basically want to make it meaningless, since if they're over 50% and the other tribes that have been given it are over 40%, that would just mean that it stops mattering as a thing. The state's high court asked the government. Okay, they've launched a protest against the Meitei. I don't know how to pronounce it. Meitei tribes. Meitei Naga and Kuki. They're arguing that, yeah, that it's like white people getting affirmative action. All tribal students union Manipur stress the need for them to come with a compensation. Yeah, this does look like a issue that's been going on for a while. So where are the Meitei actually from? Because if these are the indigenous people, but now they're the majority, where did they come from? If this is in Manipur. Is that how you spell it? Where do they come from? In Manipur and Northeast India, they speak Meitei language. They even call themselves Manipuri. Oh, okay. They're native as well, but they're just they've just been the dominant power in the region. And they're much bigger, I guess, because they're in other regions as well. In Myanmar and Bangladesh. There's, I guess, they're the third largest group in Assam after Bengali and Hindi speaking people. So they're a big group. And I don't know much about the specific scenario, so I'm just my info is probably lacking, but it looks like a very it kind of looks like a similar case to basically all over the world where the dominant group oppresses the smaller groups, and then they hate it when the smaller groups gain any sort of protection, so they try to remove it. Image permanently imprinted on the surface of the moon today onwards as tires of rovers. Rover has this imprint. There is no air on moon, hence these marks will be forever. What the hell is this? I was like, wait, has the rover even landed? And why would that's not how tires work. But that's not how tires look for rovers. They don't have logos on them. It did land, I didn't know that. I don't even know what it says though. But it's not real, of course. Because rover tires don't look like that. What do actual rover tires look like? I believe they're like these round things. Rover tires. They can't look like the normal tires here on Earth. See, that's what I thought. I think rover tires look like. Or these are the newer versions, I'm not sure. Something like this. I guess this is an older version. I don't know which one the Indians using. Indian, we can just look at it. Then I don't want the fake one. Where's the real one? What do the tires look like? Okay, Pragyan is a lunar rover that forms Also, they have these stars. Chandrayaan 2 crash landed apparently. At least India's doing something in that department. Pakistan's not doing anything. But this is... What does it say though? Boy Meets Minnie. It probably looks like this, I guess. What was this thing saying? Written in Hindi. Oh, okay. I don't think they have logos on there. They just have these really like smooth stuff that can move and compress, and you can't have just normal tires in space. There was an actually good video on rover tires and how they look. I mean, journalist is a strong word. There are, of course, journalists in India, but I don't know how many of them are actual journalists. What the... How do you... What are these two then? If this was a tire, why are they like this? Whatever. Inter Miami CF versus Nashville CF. I guess I'm just... What's the word? I'm waffling right now. I don't have anything. There was rover tires. Was it Veritasium? Does Veritasium copyright strike and do that stuff? What's the thing called? Where you mark your videos. Yeah, this video sort of explained how NASA... Wait. Why are these two videos titled the same way? But this one's 4 years old. This one's 4 months old. And this is the same. That's kind of weird. I know. I watched this one, but I haven't watched it in a while. And then this one, that's kind of weird. I don't think Veritaseum stolen videos before. But I don't know. We can watch this though, the 9-minute one. I don't think Real Engineering has that thing on for their video.
This episode of Real Engineering is brought to you by the Royal Air Force and the Briggs Automotive Company, who are currently holding an engineering design competition for young engineers. One of the moments that will always stand out in my life is watching the joy and excitement of the engineers at JPL celebrating the monumental task they had just completed. They had just landed a 900-kilogram rover the size of a Mini Cooper on another planet. The Mars rover is bursting at the seams with engineering and innovation. I could detail the insane landing process and any of the multitude of engineering marvels on board, but today I want to discuss something you may not have put much thought into, something we use every day on Earth: tires. The wheels of the Mars rover have been one of the biggest technical difficulties encountered on the mission.
Yeah, that's the problem with you can have rubber tires that no one's there to replace them,
accruing substantial damage through the rough Martian terrain. Surely the engineers at NASA could have predicted this and designed something better. Well, not everything is as simple as it may seem. Even on flat, hard ground, the rover has a top speed of 0.15 kilometers per hour. Yet this snail's pace still has enough force to tear holes into the aluminium wheels of the rover. The engineers have some strict criteria that made the job more difficult. The wheels need to be stiff enough to support the weight of the rover. At nearly 1 ton, that isn't an easy task. The wheels need to be as light as possible to reduce launch costs, and must be able to maintain traction and navigate the unpredictable Martian terrain. The current record holder for the longest journey on an extraterrestrial body is held by the Opportunity rover at 45 kilometers, with the previous record being held by the Russian Lunokhod 2, a lunar rover. Curiosity has racked up just 20 kilometers to date. All Mars rovers have used solid aluminium wheels. The Sojourner, Opportunity, and Spirit rovers all used the design successfully, but the Curiosity rover is much heavier. Each wheel on the Curiosity rover is about half a meter in diameter and 400.
I don't know what I can add to this video though, is the thing. I don't know as much about
millimeters wide, milled from a solid block of aluminium in a similar fashion to the methods described in my Bloodhound SSC video. But unlike the Bloodhound, the Mars rover wheels are milled to just. This episode of Real Engineering is brought to you by the Royal Air Force and the Briggs. Even on flat diameter and 400 millimeters wide, milled from a solid block of aluminium could we use. To reduce the chances of the wheels experiencing a stress that could damage them, we want them to be able to bend and conform to the terrain. This option was studied for applications on Mars, but the lunar rover had a mass of just 450 kilograms compared to the 900 kilograms of the Curiosity rover. Combine this with the higher gravity on Mars, and it made the wheel unsuitable for the application. The wheels would simply not be able to hold the weight of the vehicle without deforming permanently. But Goodyear, who developed the original lunar wheel, has been working alongside NASA, and in 2010, they were given the R&D 100
this I think is the new
100 award for this spring tire, which could be the solution to our problems. Being both light, capable of bending and conforming to the terrain without permanently deforming, and capable of holding the weight of the heavier rover. So what's its secret? What makes this spring tire different to the ones on the lunar rover? They use a new age material that has some incredible properties, not just.
That's kind of cool. If they weren't so expensive, maybe having them
just for applications in space, but right here on Earth. This spring tire uses a material called nitinol. Nitinol is a nickel titanium alloy that has been named a shape memory alloy, and for good reason. You can bend and
Yeah, so shape memory alloys basically are ones that have like a state that they're in the original shape, and then if you apply pressure or temperature or something to them, of course their shapes devolve, but then I mean he's going to explain it, so that's the problem.
Form it and then just apply a little bit of heat and it magically returns to its original shape. It remembers its original shape. That is incredible. But nothing is magic in this world and everything has an explanation. Here is how it works. Typically, when a material is stressed, one of two things can happen. If the stress is below its yield point, the material will deform elastically like a rubber band and return to its original shape when the stress is released. Alternatively, if the material is stressed beyond its yield point, the material will deform permanently, and when the stress is released, the material will not return to its original shape. So how does this permanent deformation occur? If the bonds are not broken, the material should return to its original preferred crystal lattice orientation, but when sufficient force is applied, small defects in the crystal lattice are able to move. This is what is happening to the wheels of the Mars rover. When driving over pointed rocks and gravel, the stress exceeds the yield stress, and thus the wheels are gradually picking up permanent deformation, and eventually cracks will form and the material will fracture. Deformation occurs slightly differently for nitinol, as it has some unique properties due to the internal crystal structure. When nitinol is below a certain temperature, it has a crystal structure called martensite. Its crystal structure is arranged in such a way that it can accommodate deformation very easily. Martensitic nitinol forms grains of twinned atoms where the direction aligns. When stress is applied, these twin grains deform and align to best absorb the stress. Particular twin grains can grow at the expense of others. This is called detwinning. This, like the dislocation movement in other metals, is permanent without external energy providing the energy needed to revert backwards, but nitinol can get that energy from heat. Upon heating, the nitinol forms austenite, an ordered regular crystal structure, which effectively resets the crystal structure, and when the nitinol cools again, the nitinol remembers its original shape. What makes nitinol even more amazing and useful is that this transformation temperature can be tailored for different applications. In general, increasing the titanium content of the metal will increase the transformation temperature. This is an incredibly useful property, and it has found many applications across many industries. Let's say we want the metal to remember its shape at 37 degrees Celsius, body temperature. Can you think of any applications where this would be useful?
Yeah, but basically talking about this alloy being used in the body and stuff like that. But that's about the silly whatever imprint thing. That's not how rover wheels work. I wish ion propulsion was an actual thing. These are old videos, not this one, but the other ones. Anyways, though, I think I'm gonna stop. Where's the... There was the music that Boy Meets Minnie.
Is this what you want? Does this make you happy? Are you entertained? You sick? You disgust me.
Yeah, that's one.
And there, you're gone now.